Alright, welcome back everybody. As you can see, I'm all bundled up. And you can see the snow on the ground. It's really windy today. About maybe 10, 15 mile per hour wind. It's pretty windy, maybe 18 actually. All I know, we got about maybe 10 inches of snow out here. It's not wet, it's that fluffy, dry type of stuff, so it doesn't stick. It's just really dry, kind of. It's like dry. I think it's actually about 10 degrees out here right now, but with wind chill, it's probably -4, maybe -3, maybe -5. But it's pretty cold. It's actually around, I think the hottest it's going to get today is about 10 degrees. I think that's how hot it's going to get today, is 10 degrees. That's, I can't remember. It's not in Celsius, it's in the other one. But anyway. I'm over here by the pig pen. Last night, I think it got down to minus. Tonight, it's supposed to get down to -13. Wind chill is around -20, so cold. Cold, cold, cold. I'm just shucking on everything. I'm gonna have to bring them a little more straw. Anyway, but camera's about to. Anyway, I got a new battery, but if you guys are wondering what you guys should do when you have these really, really cold temperatures, like -13, wind chill -20, is you gotta make sure your pigs have lots of bedding, which I gotta bring some bedding over for these pigs, because they ate it all, I think. Ate most of it anyway. But you make sure they have lots of bedding, and you make sure if you have some pigs, if you have pigs that are there's like only one pig in a pen, make sure if you don't have a bull is a pig that's castrated. I'm gonna say pigs need a partner to sleep with, because I'll show you. One pig can't stay warm, can't keep warm enough as when you have two pigs. If you have two pigs, they can stay warmer and you can use a little less bedding. If you have one pig, you got to use a lot more bedding, because that pig is just making its own body heat and it can't really keep warm. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I got 6 down there. There's even 6 in this pen. So you don't need as much bedding in this pen, because they have 6 pigs and they can generate more body heat. So you can see I got some straw. It looks like they ate some of their straw too. But there isn't like a thick layer of straw. But like your piglets, like I'll go show you. And also this guy, he has some straw. But again, he doesn't need that much, because he's a boar. And boars technically, well, he technically has a lot of fat. So that kind of keeps him insulated. But also he's bigger and they can keep warm better. So, like 2 bigger pigs, they can keep warm pretty well. I mean, well, I don't know about pink pigs, but these Idaho pasture pigs and Cooney coons, they seem to do good. Anyway, but the piglets, they are a whole nuther story. You gotta give them lots of bedding. Because they cannot really, they can't really generate body heat, and as you can see, they're right there, and they got plenty of straw. So I mean, they could use a little more straw, but that's pretty good. They pushed most of the straw up, so if they spread it out, they can make a little home and keep warm. Those piglets got born when it was like 30 degrees, so they are about 3 weeks old now. My nostrils are starting to freeze shut. So they are a little bigger, so they can kind of they can kind of keep a little more warm. When they're like first born, they wouldn't be able to keep warm that much because they can't really keep their body heat up and stuff. But when they are like 3 weeks old piglets, then they can, you gotta have bedding in there, like a lot of bedding for them because they're little. And as you know, a bigger aminal takes longer to freeze solid, and a little aminal takes a little less to freeze solid. So that means those little piglets would take, if they didn't have any bedding, I mean, even then, they might still make it, but even they don't have any bedding, and they would probably freeze if it was minus 13 in like an hour, or a couple hours. They'll freeze solid. But those bigger pigs, they don't freeze as fast because it's a bigger area to freeze. So, like if you have a little tiny water tank, it freezes faster than a big water tank. Anyway, it's just little things freeze faster than big things. So, keep that in mind when you are dealing with really cold weather. If you have little tiny animals, then you want to put down a lot of bedding because they freeze faster. Big animals have more body heat. It's more surface area to freeze. So, anyway, it's kind of like, yeah. So, anyway, you just put down bedding. It doesn't matter, hay, straw. I mean, you could use wood chips in really cold weather when you have bigger pigs, but I don't recommend wood chips for little animals like piglets, because they don't really, it doesn't really, wind can blow through the wood chips, and the wood chips don't really keep the wind out, but hay can build like weaves together and makes a nice little blanket or something, so it keeps the wind from really blowing, and it keeps the heat in better. Wood chips let air go through it, and it kind of takes the heat away. Anyway, I'm gonna go warm my hands in the barn. Come on. It's pretty warm in here. As you can see, we got a couple straw bales left. I'm gonna sit down in here. Cold. But yeah. Nose is frozen. But yeah, like milk cows, they need bedding because if they're in milk, their teats will get frozen. So, well, they'll get frostbite on their teats. So you kind of want to give them some straw so they don't put their teats in the snow and lay down in the snow. So you kind of want to give your milk cows bedding. But like milk cows that are not pregnant, I mean, you can give them bedding, but as long as you give them a lot of hay and stuff, they should be fine. Just like the beef cows down there. When it's cold, you feed them a lot more hay. When it's warm, you don't have to feed them as much hay as you're gonna, because you don't have to. When it's warm, you don't have to feed as much hay because it's warm. Because they don't have. Because when they eat, when they eat, as much as they eat, it generates heat. So if they eat more, they have more heat, and they do better. But if you feed them like the same amount you gotta feed them when it's summertime, they will get too cold. So you have to feed them a lot more because they need more of the hay to eat so they can keep warm. Summertime, you don't really have to keep warm. It's just so they can eat and don't have to go hungry. But anyway, so like the goats over here. Oof, fingers are getting cold. I'll show you the goats. And as you can see, we have the little footanan in here. he's in here because he's back in here with the goats. I don't think we filmed moving him, but he's back in here with the goats because, again, he's a little animal. Well, he's a calf, and he doesn't have as much. He has less surface area than other cows, so he will probably get really cold and weak. So we took him up here in the barn so he doesn't really get too cold. And also, none of the other cows are really sleeping with him since he was new. He had to earn his place and stuff. Anyway, we'll go back out here. So yeah, remember, when it's cold, you want to feed your animals a lot more food. Like pigs, you want to give them a little more grain. Or if you don't want to give them more grain, just add, like if you have barley, barley is a hot feed. So what a hot feed means is it heats up. So that means if you feed a cow too much of barley, it will burn their insides and, it like makes their insides bubble and they can die of bloat and other stuff. So if you don't want to feed them more feed, then you just put more. If you do barley, I mean, I think you can add more corn too. But because it has carbs, it's mostly carbs, because animals burn carbs. So you can give them more barley, and then that will help them keep warm too, because it heats up in their stomach and they use the heat. Like when it's warm, you do not want to feed them a lot of barley because they heat up and then they'll bloat and die. But when it's cold, they heat up and it kind of it heats them up. It's like a little fire inside their stomach. So, yeah. But feed them more hay or more grain to pigs than hay to cows. And yeah. Anyway, but you can see it's really snowy and cold. I think it started snowing a couple days ago, so. I don't think it's supposed to snow for a little while, so we should be good on no snow, but it is supposed to get down to minus 13, and that is the coldest it has ever been up here. So, well, when we lived up here, it's the coldest that it has ever been. So, anyway, I'm gonna come over here. There's a coal bucket. These are inside. These are inside the fire. As you know, we use a wood stove, so you do have to, and also when it's cold, you have to use more firewood. And yeah, so when it's cold, you kind of let them sit in there. Let this sit. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to do a quick update on the what was going on around here. We shut the barrel back on the four-wheeler. We found out it's a little easier to use a four-wheeler than it is to use the backhoe to do water, because the backhoe gets kind of stuck. This has four-wheel drive. It's a little more smaller and easier to pull out. That is big and doesn't pull out very easy. So you kind of have to, this is just easy. And I mean, it takes a little longer since you have to put one barrel on, but it should be good. And this is frozen, I think. Actually, no, it isn't. I should be able to just twist that, but my hands are kind of cold. Anyway, that should wrap it up for this video. We'll probably do more on the cold front. It's supposed to last for 3 days. Tomorrow's going to be the coldest day, and it's just going to get down to -2, -5, so anyway, hopefully you like this video, and make sure to stay warm in this cold front, and make sure to like, subscribe, and comment.